Greetings and salutation, folks. Welcome back to episode number 7 of ARMANOgeddon. Lucky number 7 if you're into numerology. Not really for me, but that's going to be the episode number. I do want to state an apology that there has been another long break between episodes, about 11 to 12 days. That was needed. We did a very good research cycle, and we now think that we're definitely going to be putting out an episode every Tuesday evening. I can promise you an episode every Tuesday evening. Moving forward, that is the expected date, the date we are definitely going to stick to. So be on the lookout for episode number 8 of ARMANOgeddon next Tuesday, and the following episodes after that. So a lot of going on in current events since our last episode. We have a new president, and actually something very interesting that happened is that President Donald Trump released the JFK assassination files. Now, it actually interviewed Robert F. Kennedy Jr., and when asked about the assassination of his uncle, he said, I always knew, in an interview he said this, he said, I always knew that Lee Harvey Oswald didn't kill my uncle, but high fructose corn syrup did. Yeah, words from Robert F. Kennedy Jr. All right, in a similar vein of history, or in a parallel thought process, we have another segment we're bringing to the podcast. Expect it, maybe not every week, but every now and then. It's going to be Today in History. So today in history, in 1683, Italian man Joey Stromboli invented the Italian affogato. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with affogato, it is espresso poured over vanilla ice cream. Now, the origin story of this simple yet delicious creation stems from an argument with his wife, again in 1683, where she sent him to the corner store to pick up some ice cream for a dinner party they were having later on that evening. However, he only returned home with a cup of espresso, and after a verbal beratement, he finally expressed, "The ice cream? I forgot! Oh!" Anyways, today in history. All right. I want to issue a reminder, since we haven't been back behind the desk in a while, again, approximately 11 to 12 days, and that's going to be a reminder to get moving and get active. That's always a good thing. Last podcast, we recommended jumping jacks. If you haven't done those by now, don't stress out, because I have a much simpler exercise for you to jump in with, and that is going to be the triple backflip. I highly recommend, if you're feeling a little sore, muscles feeling a little tense, not feeling as limber, start the day off nice in the morning with a few triple backflips. And I understand that might even be an aggressive jump from the jumping jack, but if you think that's not or it's an advanced progression, what I recommend before the triple backflip would be the no hand push-up. And I recommend doing about 200 to 250 of those to start your day off. Very simple, no hand push-up. You're going to want to lean forward horizontal and parallel with the floor. And balancing on your toes, you kind of want to levitate there. Again, very simple, so highly recommend checking those out, but a serious reminder to get moving. Now, we're going to move into the only recurring and guaranteed segment of the podcast, and that is going to be the word of the day or the word of the week, depending on how you look at it. But the word of the day is going to be sward. Sward, I want to pronounce that slowly. That's S-W-A-R-D. And sward is a literary word that refers to an area of land covered with grass. Now, we are pulling this again from Merriam-Webster-Dictionary.com. And the supplemental sentence it provides using the word sward is, the hikers emerged from the forest to find a green sward dyed with yellow and purple flowers. That's very nice, wholesome sentence there. We're going to see if we can enforce the use of the word sward by the end of this podcast. But I don't necessarily have anything off the dome right now, to be honest with you. So we'll just move into something I want to talk about, and that's going to be another saying that I came across. I was talking to a friend the other day, and he used the expression extend an olive branch, which is usually used to refer to making a peaceful agreement or giving someone maybe the benefit of the doubt and to move forward in the amicable way. I think we should stop using that expression because I don't have a lot of fucking olive branches. 22 years old, haven't seen an olive branch, not an olive tree, just pitted olives that go in martinis. And by the way, if you indulge in olives in your martinis, specifically blue cheese olives, you are a creature of the underworld, because those are the most putrid combinations of things you can consume. But moving back to extending an olive branch. In my days, I haven't seen an olive branch growing, or an olive tree for that matter, growing out of a sward. And I don't think that's what you would actually want to give somebody in times of verbal animosity towards one another. You'd want to wave around a fucking branch in front of their face. I wouldn't recommend extending an olive branch, a literal olive branch. You might be better off taking them to the olive tree, which is another place I have not frequented on my 22 years on this earth. And I don't plan on frequenting it anytime soon, nor do I even know if they're still around now that I come to think about it. Alright, now we're going to move into another kind of potentially reoccurring thing. This is what we're reading recently. We're focusing on nonfiction, and that brought us to The Richest Man in Babylon, recommended by Jim Rohn. Read through it 2 days, solid ancient financial principles. Definitely a fun read, definitely recommend. And now we move forward to, again, on the topic of history. I'm reading Confronting the President's book. I'm up to Harry Truman at the moment, 10 to 15 pages on each president. Thus far, pretty good read. Staying in the vein of nonfiction, then we'll be returning to fiction shortly. That's the world where I reside in. And now, another segment comes where in the next coming week or so, I might have to put my money where my mouth is, because I may have placed a wager, or potential wager, I don't know how serious it is that I could ride a unicycle at the end of a 6-hour period. Now, I have no unicycle riding experience, but I think one 6-hour session and I will be able to successfully ride a unicycle. Now, this is a wager I have with friends. I don't know if it's going to fall through. Part of the hesitation is who is going to incur the initial cost of the unicycle, which retail for about $65 on Amazon. If any of my loyal subscribers want to send that over my way, that'll be appreciated. But I don't want to put down the initial investment, because when I inevitably succeed, I don't want that detracting from my profits. So that's what's going on. Again, big announcement this week. Every Tuesday, without fail from now on, consult and refer back to this episode if you're wondering. Next Tuesday evening, give me till midnight though, depending on the time. Say, where is episode 8 of ARMANOgeddon? I've been jonesing all week for ARMANOgeddon. I just need some ARMANOgeddon. I'm on break at work. You can promise, be rest assured, that Tuesday evening you will see episodes of ARMANOgeddon. And I promise, because of my promise, that we will be bumping up the quality of these things with some more audio equipment. We'll get a microphone so it's not so your ears aren't so strained listening, and we will learn how to make some better edits along the way and learn to get crafty with it. That's going to be it all for January 28th, ARMANOgeddon, episode number 7. Thank you for joining in, and I look forward to seeing you next week.